Welcome to Opposite Saxes. It's Thursday, 1 o'clock. We're here. Are you here?
I'm here.
Barely?
I love you. Or love you.
What do
That's
you,
that's what we thought we'd talk about. Is how many of you, when you're on the phone with friends, relatives, anybody, you end the conversation with love you, and we got into a discussion about how much that one word in our vocabulary is not only used, but I even think abused.
yeah, I think
But
it's getting a little overused. I mean, when our relatives say it to each other, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. But it's just everyday people.
I mean, do you find
Um,
yourself that when you meet a friend or something, you go out for lunch and you get up and you're saying your goodbyes to go your separate
there you
ways.
go.
You give
Oh
yourself a
yeah.
hug and you say, love you.
I just I know there's different forms of love you. There's I love you, which I think is a little bit more personal.
Well, I love you is different from love you,
Yes.
or but we use it a lot, and I think we use it more now since COVID, that we're now embracing each other again. And
Which is
it's just
nice,
become kind of
but
part of your rhetoric. I mean, even when you send a note to somebody, you send a note to a cousin or a friend or whatever, and when you get to the end, you sometimes put "love you, Lauren."
I never
But
do.
you know,
No, I mean if it was one of our relatives in our family, yeah, I could see that. But a friend or an acquaintance,
well, sometimes you'll call
no,
a friend who's been ill and you'll talk to them for a little while, and then when you finish, you just yeah, it's become
I don't.
more automatic.
I don't.
You don't see,
No.
I do, I guess, because
You
I
you
can I
you
can
could
call a friend.
say love you to the person on the street.
Yeah.
You would,
I know I kind of do.
and you do,
And yeah,
and you do. Um,
but then I'll turn
and
around.
and I think I like to say that for more personal. I mean, love you,
The
it works
word,
different way.
yeah,
Love ya is different than I love you or love you.
it should be
Love ya,
different. Maybe some
yes.
people take it
But
differently.
I still
If I
don't
was
use
to
it.
just say love you to a friend, would that friend think I was being a little more forward than maybe I should be?
Yes,
You may be
yes.
right, especially if it's to somebody of the opposite sex. But
You are just a kind soul.
I
You
am.
are a kind and thoughtful person, and it has been known to come back and bite you. But that's just who you are. And I
And honestly,
recognize that.
I have to admit to you, I would rather be that way than the opposite,
Mhm.
than not to show any kind of emotion. I'm not talking about deep uh uh uh, uh
Right,
unbridled
right,
love.
right.
It's simply,
We get it.
love you.
I get it.
Especially if we're together with people that we haven't seen
Right,
in
right,
years.
right.
It's just I think it's more of an expression of you mean a little bit more to me than just a handshake
Right. Yes,
and a
and I get
hug,
that. I get that.
and let's stay connected.
You've been known to say that to a couple male friends of ours
Yeah,
when we haven't seen each other. And I do the same thing. I
yeah.
will hug them, love you,
I have a
miss you. Um,
I have a good friend, Mark,
mhm,
who has been going through some medical issues for the
mhm,
last couple of years. And every time I talk to him to find out how he's doing and how's his therapy going and everything, I
mhm.
end my conversation with "love you,"
Yeah, but
because
that's okay.
and it is an expression that means something to me, and I think it means something to him when he hears it,
Mhm,
because of all of the medical garbage he goes through and everything,
It's
for
nice to hear
somebody to say,
somebody.
I really care
Nice,
about you and I've called to see how you're doing and I love
right.
you.
No, I don't disagree with that at all. Um, I probably don't use it as often because I can give somebody a hug and they can tell by my hug.
Oh,
And
I can tell by your hug.
I don't use love ya as much as you do. I guess I save it or reserve it. I don't know. Or I don't know.
And then we as a
Can't
people,
explain it.
you sit down, you walk out of a movie and you say, I loved that movie. I really loved that movie. I
Well,
love
we
that show.
can't compare a movie
It,
to a person.
but I'm saying using the word love,
Well, that's what I
oh,
mean.
we went out the other night and had to a nice sandwich shop and we had soup. And we both said, "Oh man, I love this soup." It was
I know, but I wouldn't
but
compare using love with food as
but
opposed to a
it's the
person.
same four-lettered word and all. And the point I was making was the fact that that is probably the most used and abused word in the
Yeah,
English language.
yeah.
You know, uh, advertisers put out in there, we'd love to see you at this gathering at
Mhm.
our for this sale.
Sure,
Uh, you know,
we've done that.
yeah, well, yeah, and I mean, now that's another definition. If you were to
Mhm.
define love used in different ways, it would probably fill, several
I
pages in a
guess
book.
maybe then what I'm talking about is just the love ya
Well, that's
portion of it.
yeah, that's the one I think.
Um,
I think that that's what I'm saying. We used to. What did we used to do when you said goodbye to somebody? See you later. I mean,
yeah,
love you now
see you
almost is the
next
same
week.
thing as see you later.
Or I'll say, I've missed you. I've missed seeing you.
Let's get
Um,
together again soon
yeah, when are we gonna do this again? And
and talk to you
I just,
later, or I'll call you next week. Anything. But then do you find, see, I find myself kind of just slipping back into that love you and that final wave.
well, I mean, it's okay. I just
I know.
don't.
Yeah.
And I just
That's why we're opposite sexes.
I just say you have to be careful who you're using it with and to. Um,
I mean, have you ever said love you, and they say why? Or
no, no,
what do you mean by that?
no, no. I'm just saying, depending on who you say love you to, uh,
And again,
it could
love
work
you
against you.
and I love you
Yes, it's totally
are
different.
two different things. Use two
Absolutely.
different uses of the same four-letter
Absolutely.
word.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That much we agree on.
yeah, yeah. But then would do you think that in if I were to say to somebody I love you, that you might think you should have said love you, not I love you.
Possibly.
That's what I'm saying.
But who would you say I love you to? You would say to somebody in your family
I say,
or
well, but like our daughter, when we talk to our daughter every week,
that's our
we
family.
almost end all the conversation with, do you end it with I love you or love you?
Sometimes I don't say anything and neither does she. It
I
just depends. Yeah, it just depends. You're a nicer person than I am. I'm telling you, you have said, I said you kind of go out of your way to be sweet.
well,
And
again, like I say, what's the alternative? To just say goodbye, handshake, fist bump, elbow bump, whatever,
yeah,
and that
we used
that
to.
I know we did that after COVID, but then when people started hugging each other again, that I guess
There are
that's the
some
other thing. Are there
people,
some people that take offense when you reach out to give them a hug
you
at the end of a
haven't, you can't
conversation
figure that out. Oh, I've encountered many people
that back
through
off?
many different phases of our lives that I can tell they're just not huggers.
Well,
They are not.
I don't need
Or
that.
I've
I don't
started
need that.
to, and they don't come forward and I kind of back off because I
Well,
don't want to hurt them. Maybe for some reason they're afraid of germs. I don't know.
well,
But there are
remind me, and I
people,
won't say love you to them.
but there are people, Stuart, that are not as warm and they're just not built that way. Not everybody is built that way.
Right. In other words, when they say I love you to somebody, it has a higher degree of meaning that because I may throw it out
Some
there
of these people
too often.
that I'm thinking of, I can't imagine other than a significant other or a family member. I can't imagine them saying, love ya, or I love you to a friend.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Because I mean, I have gotten up from a meeting or something like that
Mhm.
and walked out and somebody has said it to me before I said it to them.
That's very nice.
I took it that way.
Yeah,
I
but you travel maybe in different circles than I do, and some of the people you're meeting are different than some of the people I'm meeting.
Yeah, and it depends on maybe the meeting. If it was a meeting that had some deep discussion elements and everything, you might say, I really got a lot out of this discussion. And all I look forward to seeing you again next week. Love you.
Well, I would say most of the people you encounter on a daily basis with meetings or volunteer or whatever, you have been with them for a while and you've known them for a while. I still go to meetings and go to my nonprofits where I don't see them that often, maybe once a year.
Well, yeah.
Or I don't even know them really well. And I say, hi, I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? That's
Well,
that's the type of,
hello is different than when you leave, but when you've gone and you've seen this person at maybe one of your nonprofit events,
I say, it is
and
so
at
nice
the
being with
end
you.
of the end of
Mhm.
the evening or the end of the event, and you're leaving, knowing that I probably won't see you in person again for another year, and all you would feel guilty about giving them a little hug and saying
I'll
love
give
you.
you a hug, but I don't say I love you. I
So
say it's wonderful seeing you. I've missed seeing you. Hug and see you next year, or I'll talk to you maybe in the meantime. Be nice to get together. But no.
maybe that's why they reach out and hug me longer than they do you do you.
Hey, anything's possible. But just
But
remember, never mind.
no, never mind. Well, we certainly appreciate you joining us every week, and I don't mind saying I love you.
Love you, honey.
I love you too. Well, see, I love you,
And
but
I love
I
you.
wouldn't end the show by just looking at you and saying love you because
So do you want to
it's
rewind the tape
more. No, no.
or rewind us?
I said to the people that are watching and listening, thank you for joining us and love you. Is that okay?
Love you guys too. Thank you for
Okay.
joining us. It's been a blast.
See you next week.
Bye.